Hello everyone, my name is Matias Grignola, and today I will be talking about the Internet of Things. So to begin, what does Internet of Things even mean? So a definition taken from Wikipedia means the Internet of Things is the internetworking of physical devices and vehicles, also referred to as connected devices and smart devices, buildings and other items embedded with electronic software sensors, actuators, and network connectivity that enable these objects to collect and exchange data. So what does this involve? This involves the cloud, IPv6 and RIFD, RFID, physical devices, access to the internet, use of analytics, creativity, imagination, innovation. So first and foremost, the cloud. Without the cloud, Internet of Things would not be possible. The cloud is used to store all the internet data of these devices. It allows these devices to connect to a greater internet base. These devices allow us to connect from anywhere in the world. So it's a cool function that I can control the lights in my house from my phone, but without the cloud, I would not be able to do that if I were not in my house. Um, the cloud also makes Internet of Things be relatively cheap, so that all this information can be stored on servers for very low cost. So creativity, imagination, innovation. There is virtually no limit to what you can create that can connect to the internet. If you can think of a product that would have benefit being on the internet and you can make it, then that's what helps the Internet of Things progress, and that's what helps the economy. Um, and the use of analytics is crucial here because companies, we'll speak about this a bit more in depth later, but companies get data from the devices we use that are connected, and they use that data to realize how we use these products so then they can go back and improve the products or make a product based on what we wanted out of that product, and they all collect this through data and analytics. So IPv6 and RFID transmitters. IPv6 is Internet Protocol version 6. This is what gives a device its specific IP address to connect to the internet. So IPv6 is what helps the internet and other devices um, tell the difference between my cell phone and your cell phone, my laptop, your laptop. This is crucial in terms of personalizing devices. For instance, helping a Bluetooth speaker um, or a wireless speaker connect to my phone instead of others. An RFID transmitter transmits data in terms of radio waves, radio frequencies to RFID readers. So, for instance, if I had a chair that was connected to the internet and people had RFID transmitters on them or their phones, I could sit on a chair and the chair reading those radio frequencies could tell that, oh, Matthias is sitting on this chair, and throw that data back, and then you could see who sat on that chair and when. So RFID is crucial in personalizing devices. Now these two things are basically what you need to connect a device to the internet and make it connectable with other things. It only costs $4 to connect something. So if you can make a product um, that'll do well in the market, you only need $4 to actually make it Internet of Things capable. So devices, these devices need to have some sort of control. For instance, iPhones or cell phones, you can connect your music wirelessly. That's offering control. Um, and these devices collect data um, so that then uh, companies can see how the product is being used. Uh, for instance, my example with the chair does not control anything specifically, but it controls the data. So I sit on the chair recognizes that I sat there, and that data goes back to a server, and that data can be controlled. Next up is connectivity to the internet. Um, you need to be able to connect to the internet to make something part of the Internet of Things. Um, but devices have different sensors and different technologies, such as Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, pressure sensors, air sensors, all these kinds of things. They have all this technology, but without a connection to the internet, it will not be useful in the internet web. So it's great that um, my phone is capable of turning my lights off in my house, but it will not be useful if I can't connect to the internet, say from a friend's house, and do that. If I'm in the middle of nowhere, want to turn the lights off in my house, and I can't connect to the internet, then what's the use of it? Next, the use of analytics. I touched on this briefly, but companies that make devices for the Internet of Things, they usually have a way of collecting data to see how people live and use these devices. And this is crucial because companies use this data to make new products and to improve existing products. This is what companies use to have their company be more profitable in the long run, to make better products. So this is gold to companies. The cool thing is, though, that if you do not feel comfortable sharing your usage data, like how you use the product with the company, many companies have the option for you to do that. Now, the idea of a technocracy is a cool idea. It's the idea that a world can be controlled by technology companies like Google, Apple, and Facebook. Um, and if you think about it, it's kind of scary because these companies make products that we use day in and day out and control the way we do work and communication and learn. So it's the idea that these companies have a deep-rooted control in how we live, which is scary. And I'll give you some examples. The iPhone, like not necessarily iPhone, but cell phones in general, they're always in our hands. Um, so if Apple comes out with a new iPhone, which people lose their minds over, they have some sort of control over the way the people communicate, do work, uh, because they're the ones putting out the product. They're the ones making these features. They know it's always on you. I mean, look around. People hold them in their hands 24/7. Um, Apple has a certain degree of control over our lives. Google does too. Google changes the way we learn. Search engines control how we learn and how we get information. And now Google's venturing into cars, satellites, and medicine. So evermore they're positioning themselves in our daily lives, which again, these companies together control so much of what we do day in and day out, communication, education. So the idea of a technocracy is kind of scary because they can control most aspects of our lives. Now, something to mention is that marketing and advertising is key with the Internet of Things. Like I said, these devices collect data of how we use products. So companies can then use this data and personalize advertisements. So if Apple knows that I'm in coffee shops at 3 o'clock every day, they can send this information to Starbucks and be, hey, people usually come in to coffee shops around 3 o'clock. And then Starbucks can then advertise better. This can also be seen as being intrusive, however. So there's some dangers. Companies control our lives. Everything connects to the internet. It's an easy way to hack people's lives. And it's not just information like credit card numbers and such. It's information on how we live, where we go, what our movements are, what our daily routines are. This is important information. I'd say more valuable than monetary information. This is how society works. And this information is out there on the internet. It's also one kill switch to wipe out the way we live. Imagine Google and iPhones not working all of a sudden. People would go into a frenzy. But the reality is that it's already here and in our lives. It's cheap, so it's going to keep growing. And whether we like it or not, Internet of Things will grow exponentially from here on out. So thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something about the Internet of Things. Thank you very much.